Thank you, Jody, and thank you, everyone who's here today. I'm really quite honored and humbled to stand before you today. As everyone was walking in, I thought about the very deep debt of gratitude that I owe to the seminary. You know, it's now 41 years since my graduation. It's a very long time ago. But seeing everyone walk in made me remember the courage and the independent thinking that my teachers really supported in all of us when we were students, and gave all us students the courage to go forward into our lives through their example and through their dedication. I'm very pleased to look around and see many people here who enriched my days at SEM, including Gary Sutton and Harry Schooley, and my fellow students, Curtis Miles and Ann Danahy O'Connor and Devin Parker Marlette. It's wonderful to see them here today. And I'd like to pay a special thanks to my mom, who's here today. I think that we are all, I think it's fair to say that most of us, at least here, are both children and parents, and I think we all know the debt of gratitude that we have to our parents who work so hard to raise us and bring us to this point. And I know I've taken a lot of inspiration from my mom, and I'm so pleased she's here today. So, I graduated from SEM in 1971, 41 years ago. It's a long time since I was in high school. When I was trying to write this speech, I wondered if there was anything I could say that would make sense to you graduates of today as you face leaving the shelter of home and high school to embark on your independent lives. The world has changed a lot in the 41 years since I was in high school. My thoughts went to the 40th reunion of my SEM class, which took place last year. In honor of the reunion, my closest friends and I took over a bed and breakfast on St. James Place, not too far from SEM. We were 5 women, 5 SEM girls. Each of us is in a committed long-term relationship, and among us 5 women, we've raised 8 children. We came of age in an era of discord and debate over whether women could, quote-unquote, have it all. That is, be mothers while pursuing careers. I suppose that we did, in fact, have it all. After college, and for some of us, graduate school, we started careers, we married, we had children, we took care of homes, and we continued our work. We had choices, and we made use of them. Some of us chose jobs with flexible schedules, or we chose to pursue our careers from home the way I did. Some of us took breaks from professional work when our kids were young, and then returned to work when our children were older. Some enjoyed great professional success and opted for early retirement. Our lives have been blessed. Our lives have also been more challenging and more difficult than an outsider might suspect after seeing our outward confidence and hearing about our personal and professional successes. 41 years ago, we sat where these graduates sit now. Many, if not most, of our high school dreams did not come true, but other dreams, more practical dreams, and also more daring dreams, took the place of our high school dreams. As we talked into the night at the bed and breakfast, we realized that to some extent, our lives had been shaped by chance and by coincidence. The man we happened to meet at a party and ended up marrying. The boss who got a promotion and took us with her, providing an unforeseen opportunity. But we also realized that we weren't simply passive recipients of our lives. We fought long and hard for our professional and personal successes. Persistence was the word that had ruled our lives. I won't betray the confidences of my friends by revealing the details of their experiences, but I can tell you a bit about my life. I was 45 years old when my professional dream came true and my first novel, City of Light, was published. At a book signing here in Buffalo, someone asked me what it felt like to be an overnight success. The question surprised me. As far as I can see, there's no such thing as an overnight success in anything that we do, personal or professional. The term overnight success bore no relation at all to the life that I had led. I decided to become a writer when I was 6 years old. Don't ask me why, because I don't actually know. Just came into my mind one day and stuck with me ever since. I spent my early years writing short stories about talking animals and about warrior princesses riding into battle on horseback. At SAM, I started writing poetry. My marvelous English teachers at SAM, especially Edith Taylor, encouraged my writing and met with me over and over to give me special tutorials to help me progress in my work. That's another example of what it means to go to a small school where professors really care about their students and are willing to take the extra time to meet with them and help them when they have special areas of interest. When I was a junior and senior at SAM, I sent my poems around to magazines all over the country. I collected rejection letters from all the best places. Gradually, I began to write short stories and to try my hand at novels. Meanwhile, I went to college, I graduated from college, I began working. I still nurtured a dream of becoming a writer, but I had to support myself. I worked as a paralegal, and I worked in television documentary film production. I worked at newspapers and at magazines. All the while, I was getting up early in the morning to write before going to my job. The first short story I had published was rejected 42 times before it found an editor who loved it. 42 rejections is a lot. Sometimes I wonder, what would have happened if I'd given up on this story after 10, 15, or even 20 rejections? Many people would have given up after 20 rejections. 20 is a respectable number when it comes to rejections. But by sticking it out, one rejection after another, I learned a crucial lesson. If I'd given up, that story never would have been published. I also learned that artistic judgments are always subjective. The story that one person hates, the next person loves. 42 rejections hardened me to this fact. I'm happy to tell you that my second short story to be published enjoyed much greater success. It was rejected only 27 times before it too landed on the desk of an editor who loved it. As some of you might know, the idea for City of Light first came to me while I was sitting in Delaware Park looking at the clouds reflected in Hoyt Lake. I was already in my late 30s when I had this, some might say, crazy idea to write what turned out to be a 500-page book about Buffalo. The research and writing of City of Light took 6 years. Or to put this another way, my son was 4 years old and in pre-kindergarten when I began the novel. He was 10 years old and in 4th grade when I finished the novel. He grew from my hip to my shoulder in the years that I worked on what I hoped would be my first published book. I stress the word hoped because there was no guarantee that anything would come of it at all. Many times during those 6 years, I was tempted simply to give up on what had become an increasingly difficult project. But I couldn't give up, because if I had given up, all the previous years of work would have been rendered a complete waste, and I couldn't face that. When I finished City of Light, 2 agents promptly rejected it. Same old story, and while I was very upset, I guess I wasn't surprised. And yet the 3rd agent who read the book loved it and wanted to represent it. She sent it out to 6 or 7 editors. Several of these editors hated it. Several were indifferent to it. They didn't hate it, but they didn't love it either. But one editor loved it. Just one editor, and that's all it takes. She accepted it for publication. When City of Light first appeared in print, it received a few truly awful reviews. It also received terrific reviews, and I'm humbled to say that the novel became a bestseller, not just in the US, but in Great Britain, and it was translated into 6 languages. Finally, the dream that I'd nurtured since I was 6 years old had come true. So when I look at you, the class of 2012, sitting where I sat 41 years ago now, the most important thing I can think of to say to you is, don't give up. Sometimes the line to reach your dreams will be a straight line, but more often it will be a line that tacks like a sailboat. And remember, too, that once you reach your destination, you're not at the end of the story. Say you fulfill the dream of finding a wonderful partner and getting married. You have a beautiful wedding, maybe in this very church. And then you wake up the next morning and you find yourself at the beginning of a new story, a new dream, to build a fulfilling life with another person. This isn't always so easy to do. Or say you get a great job, the job of your dreams, and you adore it. But right away, the next job, the next challenge, the next dream turns up on the horizon. And say you're lucky enough to publish a successful novel when you're 45 years old. The next thing you know, your editor wants to know when you'll have your 2nd novel ready for publication. And no sooner is the 2nd novel published than she wants to know when the 3rd novel will be ready. So what did my seminary friends and I conclude from the days we spent in Buffalo last year celebrating our 40th reunion from this wonderful school? We concluded that we had indeed accomplished a lot since graduation. But we realized that we still have a lot left that we want to accomplish, dozens of dreams that we want to pursue for ourselves and for our families. These are dreams that we never could have conceived of when we sat where you graduates sit now. Yet these dreams are based on everything we learned from books and from our teachers and from each other when we were students at SAM. And so, class of 2012, I wish you good luck. I wish you steadfastness in the face of adversity. And above all, I wish you the courage never to give up. Congratulations, class of 2012.